Day in my life as a baddie. So I woke up seeing my midterm scores and finding I did not do well, getting a C. But after letting myself feel my emotions for a bit, I knew I wasn't gonna let that stop me from completing my day, so I got into a baddie suit. And then I made my lunch, got my coffee that I got from yesterday, and I went out the door and started my day going to work. The great thing about commuting is that I just kind of have time to just kind of go over what's in my head and evaluate my next steps when something doesn't go the way I really want it to. Anyway, here's a trick that my lab manager taught me to open my glove. And right now I'm just making the freezing medium for the lab because we needed 2 more bottles. And so first I just make the solution, and then after that I label it with the necessary written items, and then I put on autoclave tape because then I'm going to put on the autoclave. And then I put it into a plastic box that is autoclavable. And here I go to the autoclave. Now it is critical to make sure that the lid is not too tightly closed or it could very well explode or something like that. But anyways, when I went to the elevator, I realized I actually bled through my pants because I was having my period that day, and I found I could just cover it with my tank top, but I knew I had to like change my pants, especially since they were my white good pants. I was so sad, guys. So I walked all the way over back to my car in order to change my pants because I always bring an extra pair of pants. But I actually forgot my car keys back at the lab, so I used this app that helped me open my car using my phone. And then I got my pants done and I went to the bathroom in order to wash my pants. And with just a little bit of soap and some good scrubbing, it works really well actually. And like you can see that the bloodstain is already out. Like you can basically not even tell that it's there. Anyways, then I realized I had very little amount of pads, so I went to Target that is right next to UCI in order to get a new pair of pads. And after all that was done, I was ready to take on the world and be a girl boss. Anyways, when I was going back, there was this guy that was running in slow motion for some reason. Anyways, the items were thankfully finished autoclaved. And so yeah, that's basically it. Now you might be wondering, why did I talk about my period and all of those other stuff, especially since I'm aware I have somewhat of a male audience. And this is because I think we should understand that having periods is a normal human body function, and I don't think that we should be embarrassed about it or anything like that, and that we should normalize the topic of it. Because when I got my first period, not a lot of people talked about it, and they were always like, hide your pads and stuff like that. And so the first time I actually bled through my pants, because it's a normal occurrence as a girl, I was so shy and so embarrassed I never asked anyone about it, and I struggled on my own. And I don't think any girl should struggle on their own about this topic. And in my opinion, if you're a guy and you cannot handle the topic of periods, I think you need to rethink some things, especially about other topics such as getting married and having sex. Because if you can't handle the topic of periods, you're not a man. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.